Tax reform is complicated and confusing.
Middle-class taxpayers are not getting a tax cut. Middle-class tax are not getting a tax increase. Middle-income taxpayers are getting a tax. Look, just don't go to fairandsimple.gop.
Well, they're big tax cuts, the biggest cuts in the history of our country, actually. We have reform and we have simplification. We've really gotten great reviews. People are loving it.
Republicans are trying to get tax reform through Congress as fast as possible in an apparent effort to prevent you from really knowing what's in their legislation. They say it does three main things: that it's a big tax cut for the middle class, that it will juice the economy like nothing else, and that it won't add to the national debt. None of those things is quite true. The most important thing to know about the Republican tax plan is that it's first and foremost a tax cut for corporations and the wealthiest. The plan disproportionately benefits the very wealthiest taxpayers. So they'll tell you, well, you're going to get a break and you'll have to pay like $100 less in taxes. But distributionally, you're not getting as much benefit as higher income taxpayers who would be getting, say, a $50,000 break. Economists generally do agree with Republicans that cutting taxes spurs economic growth, but the problem is nobody thinks that it would spur as much economic growth as Republicans say. They say this plan would result in 3% economic growth over the next 10 years. The Congressional Budget Office says growth will be more like 2% or less in that time. The Republican tax plan would add a ton of money to the national debt. They're using gimmicks like saying, well, all these tax breaks will expire in the next 7 years, when in fact they don't want those breaks to expire. They expect a future Congress to keep them in place. So the actual deficit and debt impact of this plan is much greater than it is on paper. What Republicans are doing right now is completely different from what's been done in the past when Congress has done a major overhaul of tax reform. In the 1980s, you had a Republican president, Ronald Reagan, who worked with Democrats in Congress, and it took 2 years to get the legislation done. What they're doing right now is a Republican president with a Republican Congress trying to get massive changes to the tax code through in a matter of months because they feel that they're in a political emergency in which they'll lose the House of Representatives next year if they don't get it done.